According to conventional medicine, Lyme disease is a bacterial infectious disease that is triggered by Borrelia-type bacteria after a tick bite. What does Dr. Hamer say about this? More on this after a short intro.
Learn about the 5 biological laws of nature. Take responsibility for yourself and your body. And now, let's get started.
In the Germanic medicine, according to Dr. Hamer, we know that Lyme disease involves healing phases of various significant biological special program. To briefly recap, a significant biological special program starts after a Dirk Hamer Syndrome. This is an experience perceived by an individual as highly acute and dramatic, where they felt completely alone, and it occurred suddenly. At this moment, the body initiates a program aimed at enhancing function. It does this either through cell growth or cell breakdown. Once the person processes the experienced shock, the body begins to refill these degraded cells or break down the additional cells that were formed. Depending on the germ layer involved, the program is painful in the conflict active phase or in the healing phase, and the programs affected here are painful in the healing phase. Which programs are relevant here? They mostly involve issues of self-worth and separation. Firstly, the red rings on the skin are noticeable. This is the Hamer focus on the organ. Here, the person wants to be separated from the tick that has bitten them. A Hamer focus is a target-shaped formation that the body creates in the shock moment of the Dirk Hamer Syndrome. For example, the impact of the conflict, both in the brain and on the organ. These Hamer foci can be seen with a CT scan. Pain in bones, cartilage, and connective tissue represents a self-worth collapse in healing. During the conflict active phase, cells are broken down. This is painless. However, when they rebuild, it hurts, especially in the bones. Periosteum in healing is extremely painful. Each joint has its own conflict content. For example, the hip deals with a conflict of not being able to assert oneself. The elbow concerns not being able to strike or embrace someone. The hand involves a self-worth collapse of not being able to hold on. In Lyme disease, various self-worth collapses are in healing. In every significant biological special program in the bones, bacteria are involved as helpers. They help rebuild the previously degraded bone, a process we call osteolysis. This is comparable to the fire brigade. When there's a fire, the fire brigade comes to help extinguish it. No one would think that the firefighters are bad because they are present at every fire. On the contrary. And the same applies to the bacteria.
I'll be right back. If you need support, don't hesitate to contact me.
Another sign of a Lyme disease diagnosis is fatigue. As the conflict resolution of the self-worth collapse occurs, the blood vessels dilate. The blood becomes thinner and the body has to send more plasma. The heart beats faster to circulate the large volume, but it actually doesn't want to because the conflict is resolved. So it switches to recovery mode and rebuilds self-esteem. This makes it weak and tired. The involved muscle cramps can be explained as follows. After a resolved motor conflict, we experience cramps in the striated muscles during the epicrisis. The epicrisis occurs 2 to 6 weeks after the resolution of the conflict. If you had a dramatic experience where you were restrained or you couldn't move as you wanted, you experience muscle cramps. Ticks come when the body calls for them. Ticks are distributors of microbes just like mosquitoes and other insects. If the body is healing from a self-worth collapse, it calls for bacteria. We should learn here that it is not the Borrelia that are the problem, but they are actually solving the problem. Lastly, a tick bite can also cause a fear of death conflict. If you have always known that a tick bite can make you incurably ill, you might react with a lung nodule. This is then a subsequent conflict from sheer fear. The most important thing is that you learn and internalize the 5 biological laws of nature. This way, these diagnoses no longer scare you and you gain confidence.
If you found this information intriguing, be sure to check out my website for more insights. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated on my latest content. Thanks for joining me today and I'll see you in the next video.